Welcome back to Living in Pensacola. Today, we're going to be talking about this Gulf Coast gem with something to offer year-round. But today, we're going to be talking about the off-season and all the things that you can experience during the quieter months and less crowds. So let's get into it. Before we get into that, let's talk about what the on-season is and the off-season is for those of you who don't know. So for us here along the Gulf Coast in Florida, our on-season is generally from March to September, and that's when we're going to have our warmest months, and that's when everybody in the southeast and even beyond that flocks to our area, and it can get very, very crowded and very busy, and the rates for things are more expensive. It's a crazy time. It can be lots of fun, but it's definitely going to be a lot. Let's talk about some outdoor activities that you can still have fun with even in the cooler months. And when we say cooler months for Northwest Florida and the Gulf Coast here, this year has been a little bit colder, but typically you can see temperatures, even up in the 80s some months, and then down in the 40s and 30s. Now it does tend to be a little bit windier, but you can definitely still enjoy some outdoor activities. You might just want to bundle up a little bit. So let's talk about the Gulf Islands National Seashore. This is a beautiful area along the Gulf Coast. It contains the Pensacola Beach and the Perdido Key areas and is home to the longest stretch of federally protected seashore in the United States. The Gulf Islands National Seashore is great for hiking, biking, there's even some camping, kayaking, canoeing, paddleboarding on the water if you're into that sort of thing. But it's just a beautiful place to enjoy this time of year. There's going to be a lot fewer humans and just a lot more peace to be had along the water. The next one I want to talk about is the Blackwater State Forest. And if you've been watching our channel for long enough now, you'll know that this particular park is near and dear to my heart. I love it out there. It's beautiful. It is known as one of the largest state forests in Florida. It offers miles of trails, opportunities for kayaking, canoeing, tubing, camping, and just breathtaking fall foliage. Now, not exactly the same you're going to get in our northern states with the different swaths of color, but it's still beautiful with the falling leaves and the oranges and the greens. We're also known as the canoe capital of the world, and the Blackwater River State Forest does contain the Blackwater River, which is one of the most, if not the world's most pristine sand bottom rivers, and it's just something you really need to see. Now, in the colder months, obviously, you may not want to get in the water, so maybe tubing might be out of the question, but kayaking, paddleboarding, canoeing, all of those things, camping even, can be really fun this time of year. I want to mention 3 different places that are pretty much the 3 main places that people will go to unless they have their own kayaks and canoes. But if you're going to be renting and you want someone to kind of facilitate that for you, these are the 3 main areas, or the 3 main businesses that can handle that for you. The first one is Adventures Unlimited, and again, if you've been around long enough, you'll know that that's where I got married in 2022, so I'm sort of partial. They are open year-round with the exceptions of Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. All of their activities are available year-round with a few off-season limitations, but they've got kayaking, canoeing, they have camping, they have cabins there, they have a zip line trail, which is really fun. In the winter season, November through February for them, all activities and the office are closed on Wednesdays, and they do prefer that you call ahead if you're going to be coming for a visit in the winter months. The next one is Bob's Canoes, which is located on Munson Highway in Milton, and it has been around a very, very long time. They have this very cool 70s era building that's still there that they operate out of. And they do offer round trip, year-round services, but they are closed on Tuesdays. The last one I want to mention is the Blackwater Canoe Rental. This one is actually located in the Blackwater River State Forest, and it is now open year-round for your canoeing pleasure. They do offer an exceptionally good group discount on the Blackwater River, so if you want to take a group, whether it be a school group, church group, any kind of group, this one's probably going to be your best bet for a group discount. The last I'm going to mention of our outdoor activities today is Bayview Park. This park is located near Bayou Tejar, and it is a beautiful park that is often very popular. In the off-season, not quite as crowded, but it offers walking trails, picnic areas, tennis courts, pickleball courts. I believe there's a playground, and you can walk down to Bayou Tejar and see the water, which is sometimes they have like water sports and things going on there as well, but it's just a beautiful area that you need to see for yourself. Next, I want to talk about some of the historical and cultural sites in Pensacola. Now, when people think of Pensacola, they probably don't automatically think about its history and its culture because it's not something that's necessarily in the forefront here. But if you just barely look under the surface, there's a very rich history to our area. And if you haven't seen one of our first videos on this channel, we talk a lot about that. You can view that here, and we'll put it in the description box below. But one of the first things I want to mention is the Pensacola Historic District. This is like taking a step back in time. It is a fully restored little village with the buildings intact. You have museums like the T.T. Wentworth Museum. They have guided walking tours, and off-season is really the best time, in my opinion, to visit. So the on-season can be absolutely sweltering because most of these buildings are original and do not have AC, and you're standing outside for parts of the tour and the sun's beating down on you and you're sweating, and it's hard to pay attention to what they're saying and take in the information. The next place I want to mention is Seville Quarter. Originally built as a cotton warehouse in the 1800s, this historic entertainment complex now offers live music, unique bars, and delicious dining options. It's a vibrant spot for nightlife or a casual afternoon of exploring Pensacola's culture. You can visit day or night. In fact, I recommend experiencing both. Next, we're going to talk about the National Naval Aviation Museum. And if you haven't seen one of our other videos, we do mention this, so I'll put that here and in the description box below where we go into a bit more detail about this museum. But it is one of the largest aviation museums in the world, featuring over 150 restored aircraft and interactive exhibits. And it is located on base. You access it from the back gate of NAS, but it is one of Pensacola's largest attractions. It's totally free, extremely fun for the kids to just take and explore for the day. They do have a little cafe or deli inside, so there's plenty to eat and drink. They also have like an IMAX theater. It always smells of popcorn right when you walk in the door. They really get you with that. But they also do guided tours there, and there's like tour guides situated throughout the museum that can answer questions. So it's just a really fun place to visit. The next one is also one of my favorite places to visit, and that is Fort Pickens. Located on the Pensacola Beach area, you access it through Fort Pickens Road. It is located inside of the Gulf Islands National Seashore and offers really fascinating military history and stunning views. Again, it's just a really neat place to go and explore the tunnels and the different little rooms and things. Some of them are accessible, some of them are not, and they do actually offer like ghost tours and historic tours out there as well. So it's just a really fun place to just take the day and just walk around. You can climb up the fort, up the buildings, and just look out at the beach and Pensacola, the city. It's just a really neat vantage point and a really cool part of our history that they're doing a really great job of maintaining, and definitely worth a visit, especially if you have kids. It does get windy out there in the off season, so make sure that you bundle up, but other than that, it's really fun. Now, the last part of our historical and cultural things you can visit I want to mention is some of the historical cemeteries we have around. If you're into the macabre like I am, one of the ones that is a must-see is the St. Michael's Cemetery. This is an 8-acre green space in the heart of historic Pensacola downtown, not far from the historic district itself, and it was in use from the mid to late 18th century. People of all faiths have been traditionally buried there, and the cemetery is an open-air museum that is a testament to the diverse history of Pensacola, and it was actually dedicated as a state park in 1949. Next, let's talk about some of the indoor fun that you can have in Pensacola in the off-season. The first one I want to mention is the Pensacola Museum of Art. This is a beautiful building downtown, and it features rotating exhibits of contemporary and historic art, and they often do events and pop-up shows, so it's definitely a fun visit in the off-season, especially if the weather is a little less than favorable. It's all indoors. Next, we have the Museum of Industry. This highlights Pensacola's industrial history, including lumber, fishing, and brickmaking. Then we have the Museum of Commerce. This is a recreated 1890s streetscape featuring vintage stores and artifacts, and is a well-known wedding venue as well. So if you're making plans, you might want to take a look at that. But it's another spot that is all indoors and a great place to spend the day if the weather is not so great. The last indoor activity I'm going to mention today is the Children's Museum of Pensacola. This is a perfect place for families to visit with hands-on exhibits that really bring Pensacola's history to life. One thing that people may not know about the Pensacola area is that we are very event heavy here along the Gulf Coast. There are tons of events year-round. There's really always something going on. So I want to mention a few today that happen in the off-season that you're not going to want to miss. First, let's start with October. There's lots of Halloween events that go on this time of year, lots of fall things, fall activities. There's haunted houses, there's trunk or treats, trick or treats, haunted tours, ghost tours downtown in the historic district. Tons of fun to be had. And I'm going to leave a link down below in the description box to a page on Visit Pensacola's website that details all the different ways that you can enjoy the Halloween season in Pensacola. Now, starting in early November, you have the Great Gulf Coast Arts Festival and the Taste of the Beach in late October, showcasing local cuisine and art. Next, we have Pensacola Winterfest. You can celebrate the holidays with trolley tours, festive performances, and dazzling decorations starting the day after Thanksgiving and running all the way through December. Then we have the First City Lights Festival. Downtown Pensacola transforms with over 500,000 holiday lights beginning in late November all the way through December. Then if you're someone who's into sports, we have the Ice Flyers hockey games. From October through March, you can catch live hockey games at the Pensacola Bay Center. Then last but certainly not least, again, one of my favorite times of year is Mardi Gras here on the Gulf Coast. Starting in late January, Pensacola hosts colorful parades, masquerade balls, and family-friendly festivities leading all the way up to Fat Tuesday. So as you can see, there's still a lot to do in the off season. Of course, on season, there's the beaches. Everyone knows about that. But if you're someone who wants to travel in the winter months, give Pensacola a try. I think you'll find that there's still lots to do, lots of history to take in, lots of fun activities, and beautiful views this time of year. Thanks for sticking around for another video. Leave us a comment below where you're watching. We like to see where our viewers are. And if you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that button and the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. I'm Jamie Walker with the Living in Pensacola group, and I work with my father and cameraman, Phil Baker, so be sure to show him some love in the comments as well. And we hear from people like you all the time who are thinking of moving here or getting stationed here, and we would love to help. So you can shoot us a text, send us an email, or even schedule a Zoom call with us. We would love to see your face. And today I want to send a special shout out and thanks to Deborah and Heather Holofield, who let us film in this beautiful Adams model home today over in Milton, Florida. So until next time, bye-bye.